Hey everybody, my name is Jared and I am a Master Mason in the state of Mississippi in the United States of America. And if you're watching this channel, one question that you might be curious about is, how do you actually become a Freemason? Well, I have learned over the few years that I've been a Freemason that this is an apparent catch-22, where on one hand Freemasons are told to act in a certain way, but on the other hand, because the public is not generally aware of how the fraternity works, there's some misconceptions on what's really involved. I have heard several times where people think that they cannot ask to become Freemasons, that inherently it's an invite-only organization. Unfortunately, this couldn't be further from the truth, and it causes a bit of a conflict because most Freemasons in most jurisdictions do not have the authority to ask someone if they are interested in joining the fraternity. We can't ask you if you want to join. It has to be your own free will. It has to be your choice to decide to join. So if the question here is simply, how do I become a Freemason? Then the answer is very simple: ask. So then the challenge really comes into, who do you ask? How do you ask? Is there a polite or an appropriate way to ask? Well, the best thing for you to do is to research on the internet the location where you live with the term Grand Lodge. So for example, I live in the state of Mississippi here in the United States, and I would simply search for Mississippi Grand Lodge Freemasons or something to that effect, and it will bring up the website for the Grand Lodge of Mississippi. And when I go there, I can try to find some kind of information. Many jurisdictions you will find have a listing of their lodges, so it would be an easy way for you to find information about the closest lodge to you. Now that doesn't mean that that's the one you have to join. For example, I belong to a lodge that's on the other side of the county where I live. There's several lodges much closer to me, but I joined the one that I did because before I joined Freemasonry, the people that I knew happened to be members of that lodge. So stepping into a new experience, obviously I wanted to join the lodge where I knew the people that were already involved. Now if you don't know anybody, then it might be of a benefit to you simply to find the closest lodge, so it's a convenience to you to be able to attend the lodge. So what do you do? Well, all you have to do is express your interest. All you have to do is say, I'm curious about Freemasonry and I think I'm interested in joining. And then whoever you're speaking to can start talking to you and find out, well, why are you interested? And what questions maybe do you have about Freemasonry, so that they can make sure that you're interested in Freemasonry for the right reasons. After all, there's been a lot of books and a lot of movies involving Freemasonry, and sometimes people have some extreme misconceptions on what the fraternity is really all about. And we want to make sure that they understand the obligations that's behind it. After all, it's a fraternity and we do pay dues. Money is involved. We want them to understand the time that's involved. Many lodges meet every single week. Some meet multiple times in a week. Others may only meet once a month. And so we need to make sure that they understand that if they really want to be involved, that is how often the lodge meets. But obviously there's no requirement for them to meet that often. So we like to talk to people about these things and make sure that we're on the same page before we really proceed any further. You'll be given a piece of paper. Here we call it a petition, and you fill out information that says who you are, where you live, how long you've lived in the area, and that gets submitted to the lodge. The lodge then considers that petition, and if they're interested in you becoming a member, they will investigate you. And all that really means is a couple brethren will contact you and ask you some more questions to make sure that you're a good fit for the lodge, that your heart is in the right place on why you want to join Freemasonry. And the lodge will vote on you. And assuming that the vote goes well, you'll become a member of the lodge and be initiated. In some places, this process could take 30 days. In some, it could take 60, or 90 days. Sometimes it's really a matter of timing. When did you put in your petition? When does your lodge meet? And those kind of things. So that's where I would guide you on starting. If you know somebody that you have seen with a Masonic symbol, such as a Masonic ring, or maybe a decal on their vehicle, or maybe a license plate that says Freemasonry, anything that gives you an idea that that person might be a Freemason, don't hesitate to ask them. They're not going to be offended. They would very much be willing to tell you who to contact or to help you contact somebody so that you can start getting the questions answered that you're looking for, or so that you can just move forward and submit a petition to the lodge. So there's the great mystery. There's the great divide. We need to make sure that you understand that we as Freemasons cannot ask you to join. We want it to be your decision, so you have to come to us. To be one, ask one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.